One of the reasons we do Saving America is to help our society by publicizing important work and events. This episode is no exception. Welcome to Saving America. This is your host, David D. Schein. And we are welcoming Laura Cozy, who after graduation from the College of Ozarks worked in the banking industry. She later switched gears into a successful career in the oil and gas industry for the past 16 years as an independent contractor. She also started volunteering with Rescue America, a faith-based nonprofit anti-human trafficking organization. She is our guest today to speak about sexual harassment and injustices toward women that she has witnessed and to speak about an important event. We welcome Laura Cozy for her first appearance on Saving America. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm just so honored and thankful that you invited me to be a part of this. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. As you know, we ask our guests three questions, and the first one, you've expressed a concern about sexual harassment, exploitation of women. Tell our audience about the extent of this problem.
Right. So it's interesting. A lot of people aren't comfortable talking about sex trafficking or sex crimes or sexual harassment and things like that. It is an uncomfortable topic. However, doing the volunteer work that I have been doing for such a long time, I've had countless people come to me over the years and tell me their story, whether it's they found out that their daughter was being groomed, or a mom came to me because she thought her son was being groomed on his online games, or somebody came up to me and said, my child had a sex crime committed against her. What could her next steps possibly be? Or a recommendation for a therapist because somebody had been assaulted. And so I don't have a huge network of people. So just the fact that the network that I do have, I've had so many people come to me over the years. Maybe they feel safe with me. Maybe they think I'm more knowledgeable than other folks. It really is just a true testament on how big this problem really is.
Amazing. So, we hear the term sex trafficking, but I don't know that everyone is sure as to what that means. What's the meaning of this term, and especially why is it so relevant to the greater Houston area?
Yes, so the actual definition is it's a modern day slavery that involves force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation. So basically, if you're forcing somebody for sex for money. And that is what the actual definition is. And it does get flipped around a little bit with human trafficking. But what that is there's labor trafficking, sex trafficking, and all of that is under the umbrella of human trafficking. Mm-hmm. So we do use that interchangeably a little bit. But really, there's a few main reasons why it's so prominent. Houston is the #1 city in the United States for sex trafficking in the nation. And a few of the reasons is we are home of a lot of the big sporting events, Super Bowl. When the Astros go to the World Series, we have a lot of big conventions. We have the oil and gas and medical industries. And anytime, unfortunately, that you have a large amount of men with money, then trafficking numbers are increased because the demand has increased. We're also very close to the Mexican border. So if traffickers want to smuggle people in, it's much easier and cost effective to come up through the border than it is to fly through New York and have to go through the customs system. And the other main reason is we are in Houston. And once you're in Houston, we have the I-10 corridor, and you can go straight to Florida or California and traffic these girls all over the United States at an easier rate. So
the short version, this sounds a lot like the term prostitution. What would distinguish this from normal criminal prosecution that we witness and we mostly see in TV crime shows and things like that?
So that is a great question, and thank you for asking it, because this is one of the biggest stereotypes in sex trafficking. And it's about 85% of prostitutes are actually trafficking victims. Most of the prostitutes online, on the street, in clubs, do have pimps and traffickers, and it's not really their choice because they're being forced or coerced or fraudulently put into that situation, and they just honestly don't know how to get out of it at that point. And that's one reason why I talk about not just sex trafficking, but sex crimes, because it is unfortunately very common that sex crime happens against women, and most women don't report it. Well, imagine having that happen to you every single day. They don't know how to report it either. They don't know how to get out of that situation. It's very dangerous for them to even try to attempt to get out of that situation. So unfortunately, it just is across the gamut, and it's very difficult for them to get out.
Tough situation. So you've got a special event coming up. Tell our audience about the 3rd annual Fight for Freedom Collaborative, which will be held at the West End Church in the Heights on Saturday, February 4th.
Yes, I'm so excited. This is the 3rd year I created and host this event. I really saw a need in our community to get the education that we need as a public on what this problem is and how to combat it as a community. And so we will be having multiple organizations. We have 14 organizations in our lineup this year, including Elijah Rising, Rescue America, Childproof America. We have numerous, and everybody will get to hear from them what their message is and what the public can actually do to help this issue. And then we will have a very dynamic speaker, Dr. Nisi Hamilton, who is a human trafficking survivor, and so much more. You'll get to hear from her, and she is a great motivational speaker and just gives a lot of wonderful education. And then after the keynote speaker, everybody will have a booth. All the organizations will have a booth. So attendees will actually get to have these one-on-one conversations and get information and have take-home materials so that they can really think about it and pray about it and see if this is something that they want to be a part of to help fight against.
Well, it sounds like a very worthwhile event on February 4th. What hours on February 4th?
It's from 2 to 4, and it is on Eventbrite. So you can look for Fight for Freedom on Eventbrite and find that. Or obviously you can contact me directly, and I'm happy to give you that free registration link.
Sounds good. And how can our audience get more information about you and the work that you're doing?
So I am an open book. You can email me at laura.coursey@gmail.com. I'm hoping you can have that available at the bottom of your podcast.
Right.
And I also offer a monthly volunteer opportunity where we get to speak to these survivors and victims of trafficking. And just through that, just hearing thousands of women over the years and their stories, you really kind of get to see this is a lot more common, and the stories have a lot of similarities, and we always need volunteers, and it's right here at the West End Church as well, and that is every single month. So.
And where is that West End Church located?
It's 802 Shepherd Drive.
Okay, very close. That's where I thought it was. I've driven by there many times. Thank you so much for joining us, Laura Coursey, and for talking about your efforts to help our community and help these ladies that are really being treated very badly. This is Dr. David D. Schein for Saving America. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.